Hey guys, it's Mike here, and welcome to another edition of Dragon Ball Super Reviews, which I'm going to be reviewing Dragon Ball Super Episode 44, and then giving my predictions for what's going to happen in Episode 45. Well, a lot of stuff happened in the most recent episode of Dragon Ball Super, and there's a lot of stuff to talk about, so without further ado, let's get right into this review. So I'll essentially run through what happened in this episode and give my thoughts on it along the way. So essentially the way this episode plays out and starts off is that with Bulma ordering food from Monaka and his delivery service, and essentially she is ordering something that she had already gotten from him during the previous victory celebration for Team 7 defeating Universe 6. And essentially when he arrives to deliver what he's going to deliver, Bulma tells him that she wants him to help her out with one of her inventions, which seems to be some kind of ridiculously advanced drink maker. But while they're inside distracted, Goten and Trunks show up and start playing around with Jocko's delivery van, opening up things in the back of his van and kind of getting trapped inside. Now, they could have easily broken out of the van, as they even say, but for some reason Trunks says he doesn't want to destroy Monaka's van, and I assume that's just so the plot of this episode will continue, so I guess we just have to roll with that, but they could have easily ended the episode right here. So essentially what happens next is that Monaka takes off in the ship, and they get stuck in the back of the ship as he goes along to his next delivery on another planet. And when he arrives there, he opens up the back of his delivery truck to discover that Goten and Trunks are frozen inside, probably due to the ridiculous temperatures of space, although obviously this is a comedic scene since I don't know if Saiyans can survive like Captain America just frozen nice, especially like this, but whatever. But while Monaka is helping to heat them back up and to try and get them healthy again, they run into another character whose name is Potajutsu, who runs into them, and in the process this strange pacifier that's hanging around his neck flies off during the fight. Now originally during the beginning of the episode we actually did see Potajutsu as he was training, and he had that pacifier around his neck, and a group of seemingly evil characters showed up to try and hassle him. And after we found out that Monaka had come to the planet in order to deliver what seemed like some kind of instructional booklet on how to learn Kung Fu or other martial arts, once again those evil characters showed up trying to fight Potajutsu. However, we quickly found out that he was no match for them and their guns, and Goten and Trunks came to the rescue, fighting and defeating all of these different characters who fled in fear of their lives. But not before we ended up seeing that one of them saw that the pacifier was on the ground. Potajutsu thanks them for helping him out, but quickly realizes that he no longer has a pacifier, only to find out that the leader of that group in fact does. And in fact, they also took an opportunity to seize and kidnap Monaka, tying him up and holding him hostage. And they used this and leveraged this so they could also tie up Trunks, Goten, and Potajutsu, so that the leader of the gang could try and use the pacifier and unlock what is known as the planet's dormant power, or the superhuman water, which is supposedly able to multiply one's power hundreds of times. The leader unlocks this and opens up the seal to find a thermos inside, and once he opens it ready to use it for himself, but some strange force seems to be locked within it, as when he opens up the thermos we look inside and we see what appears to be either a glowing light or an eye within it, and all we hear is his screams as Vegeta finds out that Trunks and Goten went off on Monaka's ship and accidentally stowed away. We then find out that apparently Jocko is pursuing the head of the evil group, whose name is Grill, and he's been attacking the planet that they're on called Planet Patafu. Bulma originally tried to get Jocko to go there to try and help Goten and Trunks, however he had initially considered a sort of waste of time. However, then we cut to seeing that Bulma had seen inside of Jocko's spaceship that he had a picture of the Galactic King, which he basically defaced by drawing a mustache, eyebrows, and him holding poop with even stink lines being shown. I mean, that's kind of funny. So as a result of this, Jocko had to go along to that other planet and brought a very grumpy, as usual, Vegeta with them. We then also cut away to seeing Goku on King Kai's planet, as it appears that he's training to try and once again master his energy, as he was having those latent ki problems that had emanated in the last episode after he used Kaioken. And after taking one of his own blasts, Goku reveals that he's almost back to full power, or able to use his ki just as he was able to before. But then we see Goten and Trunks are being pursued by all of these characters, a part of Grill's group. However, strangely now they're all covered with kind of purple ooze, or their skin has been transformed into some kind of strange purple color. It almost seems reminiscent of Majin Buu in a lot of ways. Although I have to say that Goten and Trunks running away and fleeing from these characters who have laser guns really doesn't make any sense, because honestly, in their base forms, they should already be in the millions of power levels, so realistically, they should be able to effortlessly kill all these characters who are coming after them. But it seems like for some reason they had to, create some sort of sense of tension, but sometimes they should, explain it a little bit better so we understand why Goten and Trunks don't just turn to Super Saiyans and effortlessly kill all of them. But Vegeta, of course, comes to save the day in typical Vegeta Toei fashion and fights all of the different opponents that stand before him, and he effortlessly defeats them, which makes me wonder why they couldn't have done that themselves. But strangely, once he destroys all of them, very similar again to Majin Buu, they turn into this kind of ooze and surround Vegeta, shockingly enveloping him and his entire body. But then it doesn't seem like it's trying to attack Vegeta, it casts him out. And as Vegeta gets back up to his feet, he realizes that his power is no longer within his body, and somehow the ooze stole his power. And then shockingly, to end the episode, the ooze takes a shape, and that is the shape of Vegeta. So I guess we found out what this copy Vegeta is after all. It seems like it's this strange, super powerful water, this kind of ooze that took Vegeta's powers and likeness, and it seems like he's going to try and use it for evil. Now I guess we don't really know if Grills is the one who's actually controlling him, or if this ooze has its own mind of its own. It's very possible, but this is something that's definitely a really interesting twist that this is taken, and I guess that this, considering that this thing now has the power of what would seem to be a god, I would assume this is definitely going to be raising the stakes for this little mini arc that we're in the middle of before the coming future Trunks arc that's set to take place next month. But with that being said, let's talk about my predictions. Now, what we see in the next coming episode preview, we see that Goten and Trunks have fused into Gotenks and seem to be fighting this copy Vegeta. However, it doesn't really seem like they're making much headway in the fight. In fact, we also see that Goten and Trunks actually transform into Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, which is really the first time they've done it since the introduction of Dragon Ball Super, and I don't really understand why, considering they should have been able to do it the entire time, but for all we know, we might find out that they just haven't been training this entire time, so it might have been really hard for them to do it up until this point, and finally being pushed has allowed them to do that. But I think that the most telling picture and the most telling scene from this next episode preview has to be this one, where we see Goku facing off with copy Vegeta. And I just hope that all of this isn't being built up so that Goku can come in and destroy this copy Vegeta, because it's really going to be annoying if this copy Vegeta really is just as powerful as the maximum power of Vegeta, and Goku just ends up beating him, because realistically it just would seem like another example, another excuse for Toei to kind of make Vegeta look insignificant compared to Goku. I mean, we already know that Goku is more powerful than him because he has the 10 times Kaioken, and honestly at this point might be more powerful in just his base alone. We don't really know, but the fact of the matter is that I hope that they don't just set this up so that Goku could destroy him and then just be like, oh yeah, well, Vegeta, I could have done the same thing to you. It really will annoy me unless this all leads up to maybe Vegeta somehow acquiring a new technique or new powers through the use of this copy Vegeta. After all, if we're going to keep the level playing field with Goku and Vegeta, Vegeta does need some kind of ability or special technique he can utilize to match up to Goku and to achieve his own goals of surpassing Beerus and Whis and Champa and all of the other gods on his own power. But that being said, what I would assume will happen the next episode is that Goten and Trunks will fight him, they'll turn to Gotenks and try and defeat him, and maybe even turn to a Super Saiyan 3, but inevitably they'll all fail, so Goku will have to show up and fight and probably defeat him. That being said, it would be nice if Goten and Trunks end up getting the victory as Gotenks, because really, they've been useless since the beginning of this entire series, so it'd be cool if they could at least get a victory over some kind of filler villain. I mean, after all, Gotenks has never gotten any kind of victory whatsoever. He wasn't even able to defeat the main villain of the arc that they built up half the arc just for him to defeat, and then he didn't even do it. So, realistically, I hope that maybe he'll be able to get a victory here. Either that or Gohan shows up, turns into Super Saiyan 15 Broly and defeats him, Goku, Vegeta, and everyone else in the universe, and becomes the ultimate god of destruction of all things. No, that's not going to happen. Broly will not be in Super. He better damn not well be at this point, but I guess we'll have to find out as everything goes along. Well, my name is Mike, and this has been another edition of Dragon Ball Super Reviews and Predictions. Let me know your own thoughts down below in the comments section. Do you agree with my opinion? Do you disagree? Did you see this episode yet? And if you have, what did you think about it? Also, what would you like to see happen in this next episode, as well as the coming future Trunks arc, because that's probably what we're all really looking forward to the most. After all, future Trunks is coming back. Let's all hurry up and get to see that. I mean, that's basically my mindset at this point in time. All this stuff is nice and all, you know, even for a Goten Trunks episode, and I'm not really their biggest fan. I did enjoy this episode for the most part, but ultimately I just want to get to the next arc and see future Trunks come back and see what all of that is leading to, because obviously we know that Goku and Vegeta and everyone else are not going to lose in this arc, and the universe is not going to end. So realistically, let's get to something a little bit more weighty and more important. But let me know your own thoughts down below, and don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And as I always say, stick around, because there's a lot more to come in the future.
Don't forget to subscribe.
Do it now. What do you wait?
Do it now, you puny man. Who cares about the universe 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1?
Blah.
After the universe of biceps. No.